Hello, everybody. This is David Peralta, and MicroKey Solutions presents the video verification with iView. Now, we're very proud to speak about this, especially because our MicroKey's been in business since 1985. MicroKey has provided the best software solutions for the security alarm industry, and these solutions include accounting, service, and central station automation software. Please look at, as you can see there, our social media, ways to contact us. We're very excited also about our MicroKey University. It is our August webinars here. You can see that we're going to have one on August 14th, the 21st, and the 28th on sale purchase items, converting proposals, and action plans. So we want you to attend those so that you can be up to date with all the latest that we have. They will be on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. One of the reasons that we're excited about speaking about iView, because iView has a lot of product knowledge, because the owner was an owner of a MicroKey central station. And it was interesting because when we gave them the information to actually create the driver for speaking to our software and being able to do the full integration, they didn't need any help from us. They actually did the whole thing with a very minimum feedback from us. And what I do like about this product is that the product does not limit you to have to marry to specific equipment. And they're going to explain more about this. And the setup on our site is so simple. It is just a SPA driver that we have. That's an XML driver, just putting in a local IP with a driver option, and it automatically connects. And that is all it takes for the MicroKey side. Now, why is that important? Because all the information, which is going to get shown here a little bit after Larry speaks, is that everything is going to be in one platform. So you're going to receive all your videos without having to train somebody on other software packages. So this is a very good relationship that we have with our iView partner. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Larry Folsom.
All right, guys. We'd like to start out with just a quick questionnaire. Ms. Christy here is going to ask some questions. We just want to kind of better understand the audience. So go ahead, Christy.
So our first question is, do you have your own central station?
What you can do is over on the chat bar, you can go ahead and put your answer into that question.
Give it a few more moments to see. About half of you have voted. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close and share the screen. 87% say yes and 13 no. Our next question is, if so, do you use MicroKey? And I'll go ahead and close that one out too. It looks like the majority of you guys are MicroKey users, and a couple not. So we hope to be able to share some good information with you guys. Lastly, we would like to know if you are currently providing video verification to your customers. Okay, we will give it another second. And I'll share our screen. It looks like the majority knows, but it's almost at 50-50. So we hope that we can provide you with some good solutions today.
All right. So what we've got is 55 more minutes of your time. we're going to take you through some slides and talk about video verification. We're also going to talk about specific assemblies that are compatible with our service. And then I'm going to turn the controls over to Matt. Matt's in Las Vegas. I'm in Colorado today. And Matt's going to trip an alarm. We're going to send signals into MicroKey on the screen here, and we'll work the alarm. Additionally, we're hoping to add a couple of you guys into the service so that you can actually receive alarms today on your mobile devices or on your computer. So it'll be an action-packed 55 minutes. We are recording this whole session, so it's available for you to review later. So let's get started. So what is IView? IView is a cloud-based service. We're hosting the service in a place called Switch in Nevada, and essentially we catch video from disparate devices. So we're compatible with NVRs, DVRs, Video 5, we host from Tel, so you don't have to, and IP cameras. We'll go over the list of the specific devices, but the point for us is wherever that video is, in a cloud-based solution or at a box or at the edge, we go get the video and we provide it to your central station. So we're also monitoring the status of those devices, meaning we know whether they're online or offline. And so we can treat their status like an alarm signal. Okay, apparently we've got something going on with our slides. All right, is that better? Maybe that's better. Someone hit me in the chat and help me understand. There we go. Okay, no, there we go. All right, sorry guys. All right, so we get back on track. So you've been missing the wonderful graphics. The idea here is cloud-based service. We connect to DVRs and NVRs. We host video files so you don't have to, and we can connect to IP cameras. We write integrations to those devices, so we'll get you our compatibility list of which devices are compatible. We are monitoring the status of those devices, again, whether they're online, offline, and we can turn, let's say a device has been offline for an hour. Our standard protocol is that would come into MicroKey like a trouble, like a low battery. Your operator could then call that responsible party list to let the end user know that device is offline. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but most recently we finished an integration whereby we can monitor the status of, we can arm and disarm videofied units, and we can request clips from those devices as well. All right, we're going to take a brief moment here and talk about a couple of definitions. The Central Station Alarm Association last year put out a protocol that gave us a couple of definitions. The first one is video verification. This idea that there's an alarm event, and then the operator is given video from that event, specific event-based video. The other definition that came out of that was remote video investigation. This idea that an operator would receive an alarm and then go look at the site. That gap between the alarm event, right, and what the operator gets to look at scares us to pieces. So our entire interface is based on video verification. Your operator can live view the site, but most important to us, they get the ability to get a clip from the event so they can associate the event with the alarm, with the video. All right, so it turns out less than 3% of security systems within the United States have video verification. We fully intend to change that. We intend to change that with this simple service. So the market is driving this. I'm sure as individual dealers you're getting a sense for that. We find law enforcement is looking for better reasons to respond to alarms. We find the insurance industry is trying to understand how video can reduce their claims. And the other thing I would say is we find with my own alarm company that the average consumer is I hate to say this, potentially more sophisticated than the solutions we're offering them. In many cases, they want to understand what's going on at their site in real time to be able to determine if it's a crime or not. We think combining the end user notification, but more importantly, having an operator manage that is important. So bottom line for the business owners, we find across the country that you can add between $35 and $50 to your monitoring signals by providing video verification. So I won't dwell here for a long time, but let's talk about some gear, some compatibility, and sort of put this into alarm guy perspective of how does this get done at the site. So this first configuration is sort of how we started, a control panel, a relay, and in this case a DVR. So when the alarm goes off, panel's going to send signals to your MicroKey, energize the relay by zone. Let's decide it's the back door. So back door gets open, alarm goes off, energizes that relay, individual relay by zone. That relay is put into the alarm input of the DVR, and the DVR is connected to the network. So we receive the alarm signal as an IP signal from the site, We send it then to your central station as a contact ID alarm signal. And then on that second monitor, provide your operator with the ability to live view the site, as well as that event-based clip with pre- and post-alarm in it, so that your operator can view the clip that will cause the alarm. So from a technology standpoint, the fact that we connect to that site means that we pull video into our cloud. We have a patent in this area. We can then distribute that video via link to your end user as well, via text message or via email. So they're able to view the site, view the same clip the operator viewed, and we even include a dispatch button so they can call your central station to confirm or deny that alarm if they choose to. This is based on the central station. You can see that that's a blue IP link. But what's going to the end user is an SMS. So from our perspective, it's an ancillary signal. None of us get to know if the phone's on or if they've entered themselves in a notification. So an operator is definitely getting it. But wherever possible, we like to see the end user get it so that they can support that signal path. All right, we can do this with IP cameras, NVRs, DVRs, as I described previously. You can have disparate technology. You could have access cameras on the site and a digital watchdog DVR. It doesn't matter to us, because once we connect to that device, we transcode that video and provide it to your operator in the same player, the same way, regardless of brand or type of video. The same thing for the end user. When they receive that text message or that email, when they're playing it, they're just playing it in a browser. They have no proprietary app, no proprietary software, and it always faces the end user with your brand. So VideoFi, we're big fans of VideoFi. We've got a good partnership with them. We've taken their Frontel software and put it in our cloud. We stabilize it that way, meaning that there are firmware changes to that device. When we make that firmware change, you don't have to worry about it. So you can receive those alarms through us, and now the operator is receiving that clip, that event-based clip, in the same player as all the other video, because it's the same player for us regardless of brand or type. We remain agnostic to the equipment. Now your end user can receive a text message with a link to that clip. They can play that VideoFi clip, and they can also call that central station, call your central station if they choose to. We're seeing some traction here where end users are putting the new wireless color motion viewer, and they're putting an IP-based VideoFi panel in and sort of replacing the motion detectors of the end user, tying those two panels together. It's very interesting because the new low price of those motion viewers, the ability for that VideoFi panel to phone home, it's an interesting add-on to your existing clients to be able to provide verification. So in the real world that we all live in, your client might have existing video they made an investment in. So in this example, you could have a client that's got an existing DVR out there, maybe it's a school, got an existing DVR or analog-based product, they've got a control panel they've made investment in. Well, you could add motion viewers to those areas you wanted to bring verification to. In the event of an alarm off the panel, the operator would get the event-based clip, or in the event of a trigger off of one of the motion viewers, your operator would get that clip. But the operator could look through that existing video at the same time in the same alarm event. This is truly a force multiplier. Again, your end user, so that's during the alarm event. To be clear, your operator only has access to that site during an alarm event. But the end user, they can log on anywhere they've got access to a browser, view those cameras, through those cameras, and view the event-based clips in their branded portal. All right, so stuff. We've spent some time here, but we're compatible with a lot of stuff. Expect us to continue to treat this as a best-of-breed interface. We write integrations to these devices. And so in doing, we manage them. And we're coming from the cloud, so you no longer have to get the driver, the hardware, you no longer have to get the software upgrade that's got the driver update and go load it to every workstation. Because we're deploying from the cloud, all of these devices play the same way in the same player. We homogenize video. All right. So we've also, again, we face the world from a portal, our mobile portal. I touched on this, but we now have the ability to arm, disarm, and request clips directly from VideoFi units, and it's branded to you, the dealer. And continuing this theme with the mobile portal, if they've just got, a pure video product, they can log on to any browser. There's no ActiveX control from a computer. They can log on to an iPhone or a Droid, and they can live view their site. If they've got multiple sites, their credentials give them access. There's no client software. There's no app. So let's talk about the end user receiving a signal. So the end user can, if they choose to, they can add themselves to notifications. We're going to show you that in a second. So they've added themselves, and the alarm goes off. On their mobile device, they can receive a text message. They can touch that link in the text message, giving them access to live view the site. That red link underneath the quad there, they can touch that link, and they can play that event-based clip. The same clip the operator got, they can play. And up here on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the dispatch button. So they can touch that dispatch button, opens a native dialer on their phone, and calls your central station so they can confirm or deny this call, this alarm. We believe this is genuine false alarm reduction. Your end user, it's also a sales tool. When your salespeople are out telling the story about video, it's an interesting idea, but when you're able to send your new potential client this event where they can play video and see what it looks like, it really helps them understand the value of what you're offering them. So from the central station standpoint, we believe the center of your universe is MicroKey. It's your central station software. That's where your responsible party list lives, right? That's where your operator puts notes. That's where the action plan is. We support that entire methodology. As David said, I had a central station, and for me, the idea of bringing other technologies in scares me because I invoiced out of MicroKey. I did work orders out of MicroKey. So we view that this way. So in our world, the operator receives that alarm in MicroKey. We're going to show you this. We're going to work an alarm in MicroKey in a moment. But we open up on this second monitor. And when we open up on the second monitor, your operator has the ability to live view the site on the left, and the event-based clips play on the right. If there were multiple trips in that site, those additional clips would come in and play automatically for the operator. There's no place to put notes in us. We're not capturing additional data in us. That all belongs in MicroKey. However, as the operator is changing views, receiving clips, as they're interacting with our service, those changes in status of our portal flow back into MicroKey and live within the event history of that alarm. So although they're working in our interface, what they do in us flows back into the MicroKey interface. But notes, responsible party list, action plan, this paradigm is based on the strength of MicroKey. So I touched on this earlier, but we are monitoring the status of these devices, online, offline. The device is intelligent enough to know that its data is corrupted. We can receive that in our cloud, transcode it, send it to your central station with a custom contact ID code so your operator can receive that as either a trouble or an alarm. So let's talk about the account build. Dead simple. There's 4 data points that we collect. We want to know, you basically name the site, put in the CSID, or the account number, and the zip code for the location, and the branch information for that location. That's it. We don't need to, nor do we want to know the name, the phone number, and the address of the users. All that's in MicroKey where it belongs. So not only is it a simple interface and repeatable for your operator, but building an account is very easy in us. Again, I had a central and I understand this. So guard tours. We are now able to offer guard tours, and essentially they act like an alarm. The operator receives the event. We open on the second monitor. The operator has the ability to live view those cameras on the site, would follow the action plan that is within MicroKey to know which cameras to look at. They can then close us and close the event. So you can have scheduled guard tours that an operator is going to interact with. You can have random guard tours that an operator is going to interact with. But you can additionally have automated guard tours. We think this is a very simple, straightforward way to perform guard tours that might actually be profitable for a central station. For so long, they were laborious and difficult to either required equipment that was hard or required a plan that took a lot of operator time. I keep viewing this very simply. I want an operator to receive a signal, have us open up, work the action plan, close the alarm. We think that's the way forward. So how can you sell it? What can you sell? We think that this has the ability to sell a change in status. The idea being that, let's say we all have a bar and the client wants to know if there's loitering in the bar after closure. Let's call it 1 a.m. Your operator could receive that scheduled guard tour, come in as a custom contact ID. We open on the second monitor. Your operator would follow that action plan, quite simply looking to see if there's humans loitering. There's no one there, they close out the event. There's someone there, follow that action plan, call the responsible party list or the police to follow that action plan. So this is guard tours in a way that we believe is actually profitable. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the controls over here to Mr. Matt Fleming, my partner and our CTO, and in Las Vegas, and Matt's going to take over. We're going to go into the end user interface briefly to just show you what that looks like, maybe add a couple of you folks. And then Matt's going to have an alarm trip at the IVNOW office. It's a Vista 20 connected to a Honeywell HRG DVR. And then Matt's going to work that alarm in MicroKey and IVNOW to show you what workflow looks like. So Matt, we're going to go ahead here. Christy's working it. And we're going to turn control over to you, sir.
All right, everybody. So what I have up here is a demonstration of the brandability of the IVNOW platform. So this is, in fact, actually Larry's alarm company, and he's chosen to brand the services as Active Video. So if his customers ever need to log on, look at their video, they can simply navigate to this site from either their PC or their iPhone and Android. Click on this link right here, and it takes them to a branded version of the IVNOW portal, where his customers can now log in. So the first thing the end users are presented with is a quad, 4 channels of live video presented to them. And again, per Larry's earlier observation, they have the ability to mix and match various brands of video devices, as well as mix and match locations. So if you had an end user that had a chain of convenience stores, they could build a view of, say, 4 of their cash registers from 4 different stores, and then they could save that as a favorite place and immediately navigate to that anytime they wanted to. So while I'm going through this, Larry had alluded to us adding a couple of you to the system. So while I keep going through the portal, if any of you have an iPhone or an Android and would like to receive a notification from us, please enter your cell phone number as well as your cellular provider in the chat box. And then when I get to notifications, I'll add a couple of you to the system. So on the lower right-hand side here is where the end user's clips are stored. Again, these are all event-driven. Green is an alert. This is something that would go to the end user in the form of a text message or email, but not to the central station. And there you can see we got about 3 seconds of pre-alarm. And the purpose of this is if you had an end user who wanted to monitor either safe access or a liquor room access, they could get alerted and have a log of everybody that went into that part of the building. Now the red clips are alarm events. These are signals that went to both the end user as well as to the central station. I'm going to go ahead and play this one, and here you can see we've got the pre-alarm going. About 5 seconds of pre-alarm, and it was when that door opened is when the alarm actually went off. So again, this went to the end user as well as the central station for the video alarm verification. So I don't see anybody appearing in the chat window, but if you have any phone numbers, we'll give you guys a couple more seconds to add your phone number and carrier into the chat window, and we'll get you guys added. Up above here, cameras. This is where the end user has the ability to change the name of their cameras to something a little more friendly than camera 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, as I make the change there, it is updated in the interface here for the client. All right, so one last thing here is the contact feature. So if your end users pull up their camera and they notice that a camera is out, the end user can simply click on this contact button in the upper right-hand corner, and they will get the company logo as well as the contact information for the specific branch that did the install. This is why we request the branch information when there's an account being onboarded. Okay. I don't see anybody that's added their phone numbers in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log out of the customer portal. We have an iPhone sitting next to us that I'll be able to share up on our screen so everybody can see what the experience is like for the end users. And right now Steve is going to go arm the alarm panel that we have in the building. So I'm going to set up my screen here to emulate an operator workstation, a dual monitor operator workstation. So the left-hand side is where the operator would be running MicroKey. And the right-hand side is where the video is going to automatically come in and play for the operator so they can interact with the alarm. And again, the setup is simple. What we're about to fire off is just a Vista 20 alarm panel tied to the back of a Honeywell HRG DVR. All right, go ahead. All right, so Steve just set off the alarm. And what you see is the signal come into MicroKey and the familiar MicroKey alarm noise, just as any other alarm is going to come into MicroKey. The operator takes it exactly the same way, except in the case of an IVNOW signal, they're immediately taken to our web-based portal where they can interact with the video at the site. So the first thing the operator is presented with is a live camera shot of the camera associated with the zone where the alarm occurred. And on the right-hand side, the pre-alarm video clip of the incident automatically comes in place for the operator. So as you can see, outside of the initial taking of the alarm and microkey, there is no additional operator action required at this point to receive and interact with the video at the site. It also doesn't matter what type of video device it is. As Larry said before, Hikvision, Axis cameras, Honeywell, it's all presented the exact same way for your operator. So your operator is not going to have to learn new workflows as new technologies become available through iView Now. Now from this screen, the operator has the ability to click on this button in the upper left-hand corner. And now they can navigate to all of the other cameras that are at the facility and choose cameras either individually, including the ability to mix and match technologies like the end user had, or they can page through cameras 4 at a time and quickly sweep through a facility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this up, and then I'm going to share our iPhone here real quick. Okay. So the second the central station received the alarm, the end user received an alarm that contains a text message as well. So when the end user receives the text message, they simply click on the link that is contained within the text message, and they're immediately taken to our web-based portal where they can interact with the live and recorded video. So as you can see, they receive 4 channels of live view from their site, including the ability to change cameras. And then down below, you'll see the red hyperlink to begin playback of the clip, the exact same clip that the central station viewed. And they can verify if at 2 o'clock in the morning it's an actual Berg, or if it's, say, an employee returning a piece of equipment after hours. So when the operator is done with the video, they would simply click the close alarm button and then return back to microkey where, again, responsible party list, action plan, note-taking, everything the operator is already used to doing in terms of alarm handling is there for the operator. And now the operator is ready to process another alarm. So one of the other key features I want to show you guys today is essentially, since we are taking the operators out of your microkey software and into our external web-based portal, Larry had mentioned that we're taking the operator actions that occur within iView Now and pushing them back into automation. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the administration portal for microkey and the signal history for this specific account. So here you can see the signal come into microkey as a Berg, again, full contact ID. There's an E139 right there. We have our operator resolution here, in this case false burglary alarm. But above this, you have the iView Now operator actions that got pushed back into microkey. So now you've got a perfect second-by-second timestamp of not only the microkey operator actions, but as well as the iView Now operator actions, all in the same portal. The other thing I'm going to show you guys here is how you actually can get access to the video that the operator viewed. So should you choose to, you can either have a central station manager or, say, an operator with elevated permissions, and you can give them access to the iView Now portal where they can go back and review the actual video history associated with an alarm event. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the history for the alarm that we just processed. And here you can see the operator actions, the alarm come in, when the operator accessed the alarm, when we received the clip. And the clip is obviously available in here for playback as well. In addition, if you needed to pass this on to authorities, you can download an email to authorities also. The other thing we're doing in the background is the second we actually receive an alarm event, we immediately begin recording live video, again, from the camera associated with the zone that caused the alarm. We then take all of the operator actions associated with this alarm and we superimpose them directly onto this video file. So what you can see here is we started recording while Steve was still disarming the panel. It wasn't until this point in history when we as operators actually put eyeballs on the live video. So I'll just go ahead and fast forward a little bit here. Here you can see where the clip came in. And here's where we switch to a quad view, including when I changed this camera in the upper right-hand corner to a video IQ. So again, this is available in the portal to be either playback or downloaded. So Larry, I'll pass it back to you.
All right. And that video is stored in our portal for a minimum of 12 months. We've got folks keeping it there longer, and it's turning out that it's not that expensive to store this video in the cloud. All of that seems to be changing rather rapidly. All right. So we'll continue on here. I got control back. All right, so next step. So what happens with us is when we usually do this demo and it's done one-on-one, we spend some time, and please feel free, we'd love to circle back and do one where you get to interrupt us and ask questions. But if you determine that you wanted to work with us, essentially we really believe that this is more than just an interface, it's a process. So we help our dealers go to market. We can help you identify markets. We've been doing this even with my own alarm company for over 2 years now. So we can help you identify markets. We can help you build assemblies. It can be a little overwhelming to try and figure out how you might go about doing this. We look at the creation cost, the assembly. We can help you understand what you might want to sell it for, with just basically some information from the marketplace. We've also got planned presentations that a way to train your salespeople to be able to tell this video verified story and to be able to show it through our interface. We've got a sales portal, and I'll talk about that a little more in a bit. We've also got a call center. It's a 56-person call center. One of the founders of iView Now is the actual owner of the call center. And 2 years ago, we started with my company, and we basically called out my commercial accounts and had the call center call my accounts and say, hey, we're offering this new service whereby when there's an alarm event, the operator receives video, and you too can do video from alarm events. And set appointments, went out and added this to a large number of my accounts. So we think it's a journey. We think that you need to get focused and figure out, who's your client, what's your market, make some assemblies, work on the pricing for it, then train your salespeople. And we think the additional value add here is to be able to use the call center or do it yourself, but set appointments and monetize your existing account base. We're good at this. So another note here is that when that agent is with your client on the phone setting the appointment, they've got the ability to send that event-based clip, right, a canned event-based clip, to be able to explain to them what this process looks like and to sell that appointment. It's a very healthy process for you and for your end user. So we also believe in training, and we think that's part of our responsibility to the dealers. So we've got weekly sales training every Tuesday. We do a module. It's very to the point. It's 20 minutes of content, 10 minutes of questions, and we're off. We record them. They're available for your salespeople to review. We've got questions. We record each salesperson's answers and give that feedback to their leadership team. That's a weekly occurrence. We think it's important. We've made an investment in an automated training portal, and we're taking this content as we refine it and pushing it to professionals who will then turn it into an actual criteria that comes out with a certificate. We think that this is missing in our industry, this ability to, how does a salesperson tell the story? And then if you're paying a salesperson to do this, do they really understand how to present this? The same thing is true with operators. Weekly, every Wednesday, we do operator training. This week we did how to take an alarm in iView Now. I believe next week is how to build an account in iView Now. We want to train. In fact, our trainer managed a central station with me for 7 years, a MicroKey central station. She's full-time staff for iView Now. Her responsibility is to train operators on how to take these alarms, build these accounts, and help you be successful. Additionally, every Thursday now, we've got technician training. Last week we had the president of VideoIQ do a joint webinar with Matt on how to install VideoIQ into our system. So every Thursday we've got these tech training. We record them. They're available on the web. You can have your people take them at your leisure. The tests are there. You get to know who took it and how they did. We think it's important. So the sales portal, we think this facilitates. We started out with this idea that we wanted a dealer to build in a demo account at their site, and it just wasn't, it was a friction point. So what we've done is created a portal, put recorded video in it, and now your salespeople from a computer, a tablet, or a mobile device can show the client live view what it looks like. They can send them an alarm from a quick demo button. Basically, they touch a quick demo button, put a phone number in, and the client immediately gets an alarm signal, gets to view video, view a clip, and is shown that dispatch button. So one interesting factor here is that means that you get to manage your salespeople. So you get a weekly, daily report if you choose to know which of your salespeople are performing demos and who they performed it for. In our experience, and certainly with my own alarm company, if your salespeople do this demo correctly, they sell this add-on. If they don't sell it. So this is a nice management tool, and it means anywhere your salespeople are, they can show this service, branded to your company. So let's talk about fees. There is an integration fee. That integration fee includes our IT department setting up a secure connection between our cloud and your facility. Your operators get training, your technicians get live webinar training, and then they've got access in an ongoing way to be plugged into this training. When we look at the service that we offer, it is by site in our methodology. We view this as up to 32 cameras on a site, and we charge per month per site. So our first tier is indoor. Our version of that is it's $10 for that, and that site is allowed 3 alarms in a month. So from our perspective, we pool it. So you've got 100 accounts in that tier. Your budget for that tier is 300 alarms. When we look at an indoor account, which is overwhelmingly what we focus on with our dealers, adding verification should not increase nor decrease the number of alarms you get. In fact, with my own account base, I really hope to get like 1 a year or something. So this was a very liberal budget for that tier. Our next tier is outdoor fence it applies to. And when we look at that, it has 30 alarms. We charge $14 for that site, and that site has a budget of 30 alarms. They're pooled. All we would say to you, and when we go through training and we bring a dealer up to speed, is just be careful when you go outdoors. 90% of the verification I sell with my own alarm company is indoor. We go outdoor. We just charge for it. Early on in this sort of experience as an industry, everyone charged outdoors with different products and sort of got a bloody nose with it. I think that the answer is overwhelmingly your opportunity is indoor. I'm happy to go outdoor, like I said. It just needs to be designed correctly, and we're going to charge more than we would for an indoor account. In fact, within my own culture at our company, our general manager has to sign off on an outdoor system before it can be sold. So our third tier is outdoor on fence. This is a bit like the Wild West. However, we're only charging $17 for it. I would say to you, be clear, you're replacing a guard in many cases. Charge a lot for this. We've got examples, happy to work through not only our pricing, but if we focus on what we think is the most important opportunity for you, it's indoor. We're charging you $10. You have the ability to charge $35 to $50 as an add-on for the service. It's a pretty great creation cost. I'm not going to dwell here, but I'm going to give you a very quick DVR sort of an example. I think that this is the package I use in my alarm company. It's a 3-camera system. We've chosen to charge $750 for it. We add $40 a month onto the monthly monitoring. I think it cost me about $970 in direct cost to put that system in. It's a very nice creation cost. In my marketplace, I sell 2 doors in a motion. I'm simply adding the $750 and the $40 on, and I end up being able to charge my client basically $925 for a commercial grade small security system, a commercial grade small video system, and we charge $88 a month for an indoor service. This package is intended for indoor, less than 4,000 square feet location. It's repeatable, gives the client this active video, the ability to view video anytime they'd like, and verifying it into your central station. This example, when we work with a client, we do this with VideoFi, make the same kind of a creation cost argument, IP cameras. We remain agnostic. I just wanted to show you sort of a formatted way to look at how do you get your arms around offering this in a repeatable way. This is less than 4,000 square feet, this example I'm using, but when we go above 4,000 square feet, we fully expect to custom design and mark up at our normal markup and then add the service on top of a full markup. Happens a lot. All right, so we've gone pretty quickly and we've covered a lot of territory here. Are there any additional questions before I go? Please put them in the chat. And while we wait to see those questions, I wanted to point out that in Q4 we'll be releasing our own cloud. To be clear, we are a cloud, but we're doing event-based clips, not streaming video. So as the alarm triggers, as the analytic on a camera would trigger, we would pull that event-based video into our cloud and record that operator session to our cloud. What we're saying is Q4, we're going to be able to stream devices to the cloud, to our cloud as well. And what that's going to be able to offer to the dealers, you'll be able to sell video as a service without necessarily having to have a local device there to store to, as well as the ability to, you could then perform guard tours off of that same installation, and of course be able to provide video verification off of that cloud-based storage, streamed storage to the cloud. All right, so let's see. I'm not sure if I see any questions coming into the chat bar. So I hope people can actually see something to put questions into. But nonetheless, so what we all right, sorry about we're trying to see if we can find some chat questions here. All right, Christy's going to see if she can see those questions.
Okay, guys, give me just a moment.
And so, Dave, there's a question here about whether or not the module, a module has to be purchased from MicroKey. Did you want to talk about on the MicroKey side of the integration?
Sure. You would have to purchase the video verification module if you already own the video verification module because you're doing video with one of our integration partners. It will already work with the iView. So you would have to get the video verification module.
Okay. And on our side, we talked about the integration fee. Look at it this way. If you were to go buy Frontel from RSI, you have to pay $5,000 for that software. And then you've got to buy hardware, stand it all up, and maintain that infrastructure. When you look at the MicroKey module to get connectivity to iView Now, and then the iView Now connectivity cost, this is a very inexpensive way to be able to provide video verification that's branded to your company. So let's see, we're going to go through these questions some more and see if I can find one. I did see one question in regards to personnel, after the event, being able to view the video. And I hope Matt described that fairly eloquently. And the point is, it is a credentials-based paradigm, and those within your organization that you give rights to can go back and view the entire history. They can download that video from the event. So one question was about the MicroKey cost. I think David can probably speak better to that. We can certainly circle back with you individually afterwards and talk to it. So there's a question here about what type of security is applied to the video streaming. Matt, did you want to talk about the security of the connectivity between our cloud and the MicroKey installation at our site?
Sure, absolutely. So the video is all stored in our secure servers, obviously access controlled, and the video is streamed using an SSL connection directly to the central station. So in most cases, the video going to the central station from us is more secure than the video that's coming out of the device itself, because most of the DVRs and video devices out there don't necessarily encrypt their video. So we encrypt the video prior to transporting to both the end user as well as the central station.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, there's a question about the second monitor. You can do exactly what Matt just did, which is emulate the second monitor if you choose to. I think that starts to become more preference than anything else. We're basically leveraging, the Windows environment ability to have the browser pop up in the same place it was closed the last time. So absolutely. Not a limitation. So, all right, let's keep looking and see if we can find some. These are good questions. If you got them, I think we figured it out now. I apologize. So if you've got them, please put them in, and we'll try and answer them for you. So there's a question about will we be able to store the video yourself? And so the answer is we store the video in our cloud, and we relate that video via link. So let's talk about that. The link that's in the account is only hot during the alarm event. Your operator cannot go back. Let's say they saw something interesting. They can't log back on, click that link, and then go live view the site again. The link is only hot during the alarm event. And once they close the alarm, they can't re-engage to go back out and look at the site. They can go back and look at the history of and view the video of during the alarm event, but they can't go back on randomly and then click on that link to go look at the site. So, say again? We do have a list of third-party central stations we're happy to provide with you that are be able to provide this service. We'll be happy to circle back and do that for you as well. I don't know that I answered that other question correctly, though. Oh, storing the video. I apologize. Got lost. All right, so storing the video. So we do see this as storing the video in the cloud, and early on, we made sort of an architectural decision to do this way, and because what it means is the moment you get some volume on this type of a service, what we wanted to do is keep the video from impeding the sort of transactional database that is the central station software. So the only burden that is at the central station software is a link to the video that's stored securely and efficiently in our cloud. And all of that gets much easier to do based on how and where we've stored it. In our colo that we're using in Nevada, it's called Switch. You're welcome to come visit. It's a 400,000 square foot facility. And our goal here is to be able to sell this service at a monthly fee that is less than what you could provide it for yourself. So all of this sort of works together to answer questions to say that the video is stored in our cloud. There's a question there about this, how long. The video is stored for a minimum of 12 months, and although UL hasn't created a video verification standard, they are working on it. But what we're trying to do is mimic the alarm side of that requirement. So we do store the video in our cloud for a minimum of 12 months to support that concept. We're all going to be able to see how UL looks at this. Our interaction with them, it appears that they're not worried about where it's stored. They're worried about how it's stored, right, from the perspective of data in transit or data at rest. But where it is stored is less important to them as how securely it is stored. So any more questions? All right. So we're a little ahead of schedule. We've got like 10 more minutes if anyone wants a question. David, is there anything else you'd like to speak to, or any other way we can help these guys with their microkey?
Well, the key thing for those of you who are central stations, which is the majority, is to understand on our side is it's very simple, because all we're doing on our side is really just putting in one driver option on the IP side, and we're just pointing to a local IP address, and we're just putting in one driver option. So the setup on the microkey side for what you're seeing happen, we're talking about 10 minutes, and it's done.
And so
those of you who've done other video know that is very fast.
And let's talk about this pricing, this per site pricing. Don't let it scare you or confuse you. We've got a lot of data with a lot of accounts now. We can point to it and work with you and understand how we arrived at that. But that's our entry-level price. We've gained some traction here with some very large companies. Protection One is using our service. Stanley has signed with us and is beginning to use our service. And the benefit here is, if you've already got video out there, let's say it's in a hodgepodge of modules, maybe you're supporting your own frontal, and that's not fun. I understand that from a dealer's perspective. If you've got existing sites, being able to swing them into the service dramatically decreases this monthly. We'd love to bring them over for a very low flat fee and then have an ongoing price with you. Our goal here is that, clearly the more, if you go out and buy a giant tub of ketchup, it's cheaper than if you buy it by the smaller individual glasses. So we'd love to talk to you. If you've got an interest, we'll reach out to you. We'd love to do a one-on-one webinar that goes through this, work at microkey again for you so you can better understand it and talk about those individual assemblies and how it might fit into your culture. So Matt, Mr. Fleming, anything you'd like to add before we wrap this up, sir?
Pretty much as far as what everybody viewed, it's what you see is what you get. So there really aren't any hidden gotchas in terms of the configuration. As David said, it's quite simply an addition made to your SPA to activate the XML receiver, and then we're able to get those signals right into, and your operator can participate in video verification. Again, as Larry mentioned, part of our offering is complete central station and sales training. So as we go through and get signals into your central, we're obviously going to also train your operators. And Joni can work with you on creating a proper SOP for the handling of video verified alarms.
All right. Well, thank you all very much, David. Thanks for the opportunity. And we really like what we do. I hope that comes through in the voice, and I hope it comes through in the care with which we've built this interface. So we'd love to talk to you. Love to learn from you. and love to work with you in protecting clients with video verification, as well as another way to add recurring revenue to the work you're already doing. If you're installing surveillance, whether it's IP, analog, or other, and driving away, this is a chance to simply marry those alarm signals with that video to your central. So thank you all very, very much.